Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to Oasis. It doesn't really look like Oasis right now because we're down in the Nether doing an experiment to see if lava is able to be re-attained in the bucket instantly or if it lets out a bit of spillage, I guess. If it spills over, that supposedly was in the update notes, and so I'm feeling pretty confident that that's the case. Ooh, it could go down there. Trying to find the easiest way down just to get a bit of lava, and that's marking where we came out of. So if we do get lost, we can just find that. Oh, is that? Oh, it's fire. I was gonna say, yeah, without going all the way down there. Wait a minute. Have I been here? Oh gosh, I might have been here. It looks like someone, a human player, has been here. So it was either me or my buddy, which he very well could have. Oh man, this is so ridiculous just to get some lava. Okay, go here. And then This is so dangerous with the drift. Oh gosh. Just gotta get over there. Ah. Alright. Okay. Now. We'll just do that. Just make it ultra safe. Just in here. There. Really, the drift isn't that bad if I've got my left side of the wall. Anyways, in honor of Cybersecurity Awareness Month, we're going to talk about some cybersecurity tips. Sorry, before I get too distracted trying to do this experiment. We have the lava. You can see if there's stuff. Yeah, it looks like this place was looted. So, um, yeah, so October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Oh, that was scary. Okay. See, I did fall down quite a ways. So I need to tower back up. Or I can drill back up. Or I could just go back up. Oh, look at that. Wait, what? Again, I feel like somebody had to have been here. Alright, so Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Alright, first tip, multi-factor authentication. You want to have multi-factor authentication on every sensitive account. Email, bank accounts, well that's about it. But really anything. I mean, if you pay bills and they have some kind of attachment to your credit card or you make a payment, then it's good to try to get multi-factor on that as much as you can. Now, some places it's not that easy, but there are things in place that allow... Oh, also, by the way, we can go and do the experiment while we're here. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, act like everything you do online can be seen by the government. And by that, I mean, not to make it sound like 1980, like ultra paranoia, all that stuff. Is you ready? Yeah, I can't, oops. Well, it helps if I actually get it. Yeah, it looks like there's still some spillage. Like I can't instantly get it. So, anyways, we've now proven that. But I say that as it's easier to just know that if something happens, like something horrible happens, they can trace your digital footprint and find out a lot of things about you, about what you've been doing online, all that stuff. I mean, it exists somewhere. Like, that's not to make you like overly paranoid. That's just to let you know, be careful what you do. Don't be teasing people. Don't be like, stealing. Don't be doing any of that because it could and will be tracked back to you. How do I know this? Because I'm one of many certified white hat cybersecurity professionals. Basically, that means a Jedi. No, well, a beginner Jedi, we could say that. And I am a beginner. I'm certified as a basic understanding of red team, blue team, all that good stuff, how to defend against malicious attacks, and a very brief understanding of how to attack. But anyways, we got way off on a tangent. Yes, October being Cybersecurity Awareness Month, it is important that everybody knows at least a decent understanding of. Oh, jeez. Okay, actually, we gotta be careful now. I think I can do this. Yeah, where I'm still crouched, so even if it glitches and I try to move, I think it won't let me. So I don't want to test it. It's like, there we go. As soon as I'm free, I'm running back up. But anyways, I say that because it's just better to just know that you shouldn't be treating people like garbage online. Cyberbullying is a very real thing. Like what you say, you might not think much of it, but the person on the other end of that keyboard, they could be having a really bad day, or they could be having a bad week, a bad month, a bad life. And what you're saying, what you're doing isn't making it any better. So, and there is accountability too. I mean, granted, you get kicked out of places like Discord. I know there was a world chat in Coding Game when I used to do the Coding Clash streams on Twitch and on Coding Game, and I might still do that again. Get back into it. Uh, Seriously thinking about it because, like I mentioned before, I've rounded up a few folks that are eager about doing it as a side project, so it'll still take a while because that's what I'm doing. Basically, culminating educational tutorial materials for everything. Everything you need to know in public education, the Colorado standards, and just like what you're expected to know here. I mean, for grade school, for high school, well, high school is grade school. It's like, oops, we're full on inventory. Um, Basically preschool through 12. I know we were talking about cybersecurity, but this is actually part of it. So preventative blue team, which is actually something that I've been exploring as a side project and kind of like a grad school master's project thing. I haven't started my master's yet, but I fully intend on doing it at one point. So, but basically the concept is it's a bit hippy dippy, but prevent cybercrime from happening in the first place by disarming the malicious actor by assimilation, empowerment, and education. Well, assimilation is kind of a strong word, and it's kind of like a scary word because it's like, oh no, the body snatchers. Or you could think of Rammstein, We All Live in America, where, it's like, oh, America's so great, but it's got so many problems like cigarettes, cancer, and, now we're talking about trying to cure cancer, but we're one of the driving causes of worldwide cancer from tobacco, from cigarettes, and chewing tobacco, I guess. I don't know how popular that is. Anyways. I digress. So education, and part of it is worldwide internet connection to information, access to education for free education and entertainment. All of these things level the playing field and disarm a would-be malicious actor. Now, not all. We can't fix everything with education and connection to the internet. Like what's going on right now, war. We can't fix that. I mean, we can prevent it. We can fix the factors that lead up to it, like wealth inequality, feelings of unfair and improprietary, well, whatever you say it, feelings of life being not fair. That might make someone act a little more extreme. And yeah. Because basically you gotta take a look at, okay, where does most crime stem from? Like, where does it, why? It comes out of either the real or perceived idea of needing resources, needing money, needing food, needing to get the attention of a mate. Like, there's a whole various amount of things. So, how you disarm that? Well, and there's ways for a lot of other things too. But basically, no, just take away the poverty, and real or perceived. Now, granted, like a lot of times it's just people think that they have it bad. They think that they have it tough because it's almost impossible not to when you see movie stars cruising around, driving their Benz and their Bentleys and all this, and like, and all of these people that we look up to. Ooh. They gotta be flashy, and unnecessarily so. Like, granted, that's why I like, I heard someone talking about Snoop Dogg's Cribs on MTV Cribs. I know Redman did it. where he was like, "This is my crib," and it was just like an apartment in New York, and like, very humble, and it was just very refreshing to see somebody that was down to earth on that show, because it was usually just as extravagant, like, I have a diamond pony that sprays water out its butt, like, ha ha, I have to have it. It was just so this year, like, oh my God, basically the Kardashians. I'm sorry, if you're a Kardashian fan, I apologize. I apologize for you for being a drain on the economy. No, and a drain on humanity. Because yeah, it's okay. It's a spectacle. It's like a car crash. It's like, wait, how does this happen? Or it's like, what is that? Like a post turtle or post tortoise. It's like a turtle up on a post. You don't know how they got there, but they can't get. But they didn't get there themselves. I don't know. Anyways, of course, it's just interesting to understand that level of like, okay, how do they act with insane amounts of resources? I genuinely like to know, keep track of all of these movie stars, all of these musicians, all of the whatever the Kardashians did. Now they do have a lot of companies. I'm just kidding. Like they have like clothing lines, they have businesses. I don't even know. I watched like a little bit of like an MTV thing about them or something. I don't know, but they do stuff. They like work. I don't know. They have enough to fill a show, and it's not all Jerry Springer drama. And there goes to show you, Jerry Springer knows no bounds. And so those that don't know Jerry, I don't think he's even alive anymore. Did he pass? I believe he passed away, and I apologize. That's not me being insincere. That's just me genuinely not following him too closely. But the Jerry Springer Show was a daytime talk show, so if you were staying home from school sick, chances are you were watching Jerry Springer. I mean, that's just how it was back in the day. And like, we didn't have all this on-demand stuff. We had basic cable or antenna. And so we'd pick that up, and you'd see couples fighting, or people wondering like, am I the dad, or and all of this, and just very ghetto-seeming things. But then you see everybody do it. Everybody go through it. Like, you know, all of the problems. The plight of the poor person is felt rippling. Sorry, that was a long roundabout way to say security tip number 3. Help empower your community and help prevent cybercrime from happening by not being a prick and helping out everyone you can. Now that doesn't mean go out of your way and like put yourself out to make somebody just give someone a free ride. But at the same time, if you have more than you need, I mean, so Christianity, I think, says it's like 10% as a tithe. You're supposed to give back to the land, or 10% is God's, or whatever. You have to give that back. And then that was misunderstood to be like, oh, it has to go to the church, and then the church decides what to do with it. But then other people were starting to be like, well, it's 10% to charity. So if you're not giving it to the church, make sure you're giving it to somewhere. And that's why a lot of people are encouraged to do charity or volunteering. Say you don't have money, which a lot of times I don't, you know, granted, that's not why I do the teaching. I do the teaching because I'm excited by it. I'm excited by the idea of other people learning computer science. Like, those aha moments are just priceless. I mean, I feel like a walking advertisement now. Um, Between that and the robot chicken, I just did a short about it. We'll see how that goes. We'll try to do some shorts of these cybersecurity tips for October, National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And it is important. I mean, everything is tied to the digital age, the internet being connected. It's pretty sad, actually, the attempts at people trying to steal money from other countries, but at the same time, I mean, I don't blame them. If they think that we were all rich over here, I'd probably try to do the same, and if I was in their situation, probably because I'm a person. Oh, and that goes back to cops and robbers. So this is something very important to understand. There is no such thing as the boogeyman, the devil, bad guys, or just bad people. Every last person that commits a crime is exactly that. They're a person, they're a human, and that's just how bad humanity can get. Now, how do we fix that in a preventative way rather than a reactionary way? And that's what preventative blue teaming is. It's where you prevent the crime from ever happening in the first place. Well, wait, I thought we were talking about cybercrime. Nah, it's all crime. You could just stop the nonsense. Stop almost all crime. You're not going to stop everything. Especially like alcohol, it's okay. It's all fine and good if you drink. I don't. I've had plenty in my lifetime, but I've had plenty. So like I know what it's about. So I got rid of the forbidden fruit aspect and the confusion. So anyways, but a lot of that is directly linked to things like crimes of passion, poor judgment. I mean, not saying I'm doing all these things. In fact, I was quite the opposite. Like the anti-womanizer. I got kicked in the face, and I like Didn't do a thing. I mean, it hurt, and I was like, ow, ow, and then like I'm all just like dripping blood, and like she's just like, I kicked that fool in the face, like talking to the cops. Anyways, I won't hit a woman. I was raised by my mom. I just can't seem to ever like, not that I would ever want to, but nobody wants to. Nobody wakes up and be like, hey, I'm gonna go punch the wife today. Like, no, it doesn't happen like that. It happens often after a few drinks, but usually, or like some stress buildup or poor communication. So right there, the alcohol is not the only factor. Communication is key too. And I know that's easier heard than understood in a lot of situations, but and I'm actually doing, well, involved in some therapy for healthy communication right now. So, and I've taken communication classes in college, uh, communication technology, JTC 316, 300, I don't know. I feel like 300 was something else, but anyways, communication technology, and we have all this enhanced technology, but we need to still work on how we communicate on the micro level with the people in our lives, specifically your significant other, your partner. You don't have to put the pressure of husband, wife, whatever. You can just be partners. And so that takes away some of the friction and some of the stress and some of the obligations to make life a little more pleasant. Now, that was accidental stressors, accidental friction just from society and culture. I mean, look at India and arranged marriages now. I was just reading something the other day about how this woman was very brave and they were celebrating her for getting a divorce. And that's like unheard of over there in their culture, or at least it was. It could be totally different now because things change really fast anymore. But the point is just the idea of arranged marriages. It's like, okay, you don't really have a say. And granted, I feel like it's gotten looser. Like maybe they get to like kind of talk and discuss it with their parents, and then the parents might still have the final say. But like, whatever, you're doing this. But just like how we had Queen Elizabeth up until she passed away, God rest her soul, if there is a God. But then we got King Charles, I think it is. But the point is, the king and queen don't really matter that much anymore. It's parliament, and it's like, and even if they did something outlandish, wait, I wasn't paying attention to any of that. There's no coral. I mean, yeah. I'll take the leads, the leather. Hello. Okay. Happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month. No, that's pretty messed up. I don't get enjoyment in killing those. It's just I'm enjoying the peace and quiet. And the thing is with most of my worlds, at least in this world, especially on Darius, and that's this map here with the goat head in the middle. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh, I have a farm down here. I forgot. I haven't been doing anything with it. Anyways, I digress. Preventative blue teaming. Um, it's just the. Sorry, still getting over a cold, but anyways, preventative blue teaming is a different idea. It's preventative rather than reactionary in our defenses, and that basically means let's fix the factors that would lead up to a crime being committed. I mean, kind of like take away the temptation. Like, I mean, if it's really easy to steal something, maybe people would be more willing to do it and more willing to risk it. People, I mean specifically kids. Like anymore, if it's an adult stealing something, they're really in a bad way, or there's some other issues going on. But usually it's like kids shoplifting just to see what it's about, and then it's like, oh no, and then they get in trouble and they have to pay a ton of money. So, not because whatever they stole costs a lot, but all the people that didn't get caught, now this is the free ticket to reimburse for all of that missing inventory, which I think we have way too many spots now. Oh, maybe not. All right, let's keep on going. So, anyways, and that's why fines are so ridiculous in this country. Now, in places like Dubai, they just chop your hand off. Like, that's why it's super clean and everything over there, is because people are in fear of like towing if they don't toe the line, and that's not really a way to live either. Like, granted, it's a toss-up. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to disrespect Dubai. I had a great time there. It's a wonderful place. It's beautiful, but I feel like there's a lot of stress about keeping it that way, and I think it could be better if they kind of chillax a lot. I think they are. I mean, don't get me wrong. I believe as cultures mix, they're realizing, hey, maybe we can lighten up a little bit, but we can trust our citizens to be a little better. And that's what we need to do in America, is with enhanced communication, encourage each other to be better. And honestly, it still just all goes back to drinking. booze. Like, you get a little drink in you, then you get a little crazy, like the whole Irish thing. And I've definitely had my time being a rowdy Irishman. So Irish are notorious for being drunkards, and that's the majority of America is Irish heritage, which is kind of funny. I mean, we're supposed to be the melting pot, but it's just mostly Irish. Like, we see escaped over here. Granted, there's other stuff too. Like, there's British that escaped England to go like do things on their own, do things a better way, do things with less control, less religious structure. Um, that was the whole point of the revolution. That's why it cracks me up with these like Christian nationalists, like thinking uh, that this is God's country and this, we're a Christian nation. But well, guess what founded this nation? The most patriotic way to be in America is to know that we escaped British rule and British religion, overly encroaching religious control. That's it. We don't have no pope here. The pope's back over there. Like, so anyway, that's just my 2 cents on that. We had a whole revolutionary war based largely on the separation of church and state. Now, that's not the abolishment of church, mind you. It's not saying to become a bunch of godless heathens. Not that if you're godless, you're a heathen, but like, you know, having a god or having belief in a higher power helps to make a person more trustworthy, saner, more safe, but then to a point. Because if you have like an imaginary person that you personify too much and you lean too heavily on, then you got a scapegoat, and then that's dangerous in the other direction. I mean, that's the kind of psycho-religious, like, oh, like the wide-eyed, like, oh, God says it's okay. No, like, or I heard a voice saying like that. Yeah, then no. Anyways, sorry, I went way off a tangent there. Preventative blue teaming means taking care of your fellow person for the sake of doing it and without expecting reward. And that is one good thing about growing up Christian, that I learned some stuff like that. So, the golden rule, do unto others as you want done to you. Now, there's a third part about that. Sorry. Do unto others as you want done to you, and don't sorry, I butchered that. Do unto others as you want done to you, and expect nothing in return. Because it's that last part, and it's like a TCP IP protocol. So there's TCP and UDP, right? So TCP is the handshake protocol where you initiate a connection. The system or the server says, "Oh yeah, I'll let you connect." No, maybe not server. The receiver says, "Okay, yes, we can connect." And then, "Are you ready to connect?" And then the original sender says, "Yes, I'm ready to connect." And then the packets start flowing. But that's the three-way or the three-piece: the initiation, the response, and the SYN, the ACK, and the SYNAC. So the initiation, the response, and the response to the response. I mean, however you want to think about that. But it's like that with the golden rule. Do good to others, pay it forward, do good things, but then don't expect anything in return. And if they don't do anything, don't act mad, don't act huffy, don't, because what you're doing is, even though you did something good, you just did something negative too. And so in the grand scheme of things, you just did a net zero. You just balanced out to nothing. So why do it in the first place if you're going to have an attitude about it? And now that goes back to, how do we keep people from having attitudes all over? Well, hunger. I mean, and not just like, we used to think about like, oh, that's only an African thing, or oh, that's only a homeless thing, or oh, that's only a Greeley thing. Like, yes, I used to joke about Greeley, like, not in a mean way, but I tell my kids, like, there's starving kids in Greeley, kind of like half joking, half like, you better eat this. But then I just realized, nah, just figure out food that they'll eat, nutritious food, but just, have an open mind. Don't force them to eat stuff that they don't want to. It's basically chicken nuggets for the first 10 years of every kid's life. Like, that's just a fact. And McDonald's is not a healthy place. It's a nice treat sometimes, but do not eat it every night. It's not healthy. So, and really fast food in general. Sorry, I digress. But the factors that lead up to malicious behavior, malicious actors, cybercrime, and crime in general: hunger, poverty, real or perceived, because perception is reality. So if they think that they're poor and they think that they have it rough, and then they start, and then some people might say, "Oh, they're throwing a pity party with that." All right, but right there, what did you do? You just made a negative. You could have made an observation. You could have made a constructive criticism, or communicated it in a positive way, or at least just like a neutral way, not in like a, if you're gonna mock somebody, then they're gonna mock you back, and then it's gonna be a contest back and forth, and it's unnecessary friction, and it does nobody any good. Sorry, that's not as eloquent as I would have liked, but there it is. So yeah, preventative blue teaming. I keep saying blue teaming because that's defense. Red team is attack, blue team is defense. It's almost like Jedi blades. It's kind of funny, but and don't get me wrong, Jedi can kill a lot of people in defense. I'm not saying kill anybody. I'm just kidding. But you can be dangerous, you can be violent, you can be aggressive in a defensive way, in a white hat way. And that's the thing. I'm a white hat in the purest sense. I serve humanity ultimately. Now, granted, I'll focus on myself, my family, and pretty evenly too. Like, I don't put others before myself. Sorry, I don't put myself before others. But as far as what I'm in control of, I'll try to do self, family, friends, community, city, state, country, continent, hemisphere, world. And like I said, those concentric circles are very close. Like I spread, that's the way everybody should be. Everybody should have a global mindset that ultimately the actions that I do, I want them to benefit the people on the other side of the planet. That's ultimately what I want my stuff to do. Now, do I have the ability to? I don't know. Probably not, at least not right now. But if I get to a point where, say, I can teach some really good life lessons and I get it to a point where they're easily communicable, easily communicated, easily translated, easy transmitted. Granted, Google, again, for the win. Google's got everything. It's awesome. And it's free. Well, quote unquote free. They get to record what you're doing with it, but again, they're just learning how to better serve humanity. Like, and if they make tons of money off of it, cool. I mean, they kind of pay a little too much, in my opinion, but I think that's going to change too, because the FANG jobs, yes, they're still coveted, but the skills are being readily available to anybody. How do I know? Well, I teach them. But I mean, I still recommend going to a college. Go to a university, do it proper, get accredited, or at least do a boot camp, because I did both. I did an undergraduate degree. I spent the Van Wilder approach the better part of a decade, so I paid a lot in school. And I still owe a decent amount. And I got the Pell Grant, so technically I was poor-ish. I wouldn't really call myself poor. I'd say like lower middle class, but still middle class. I mean, anyways, not that it matters. I'm not some movie star up there in a penthouse and being like, "Oh, what should I do today? Not help out the poor?" No, I'm just kidding. They don't do that. A lot of times they don't know what to do. Like you'll still hear about them doing charity stuff, and by them I mean anyone with more than $1 million. Now, what do? Maybe they try to teach, maybe they try to pass things on, and then feel like they're helping, like I'm kind of doing. But don't worry, it's not just that. I've donated money. I've actually, well, I've invested in Red Key USB a small amount, and I don't want that to deter anybody from like getting excited and doing things with Red Key USB because that's something I actually just suggested to someone very high up in the U.S. government. It's just pretty crazy that I was able to talk to someone like that, but and in a good way too. Like, sorry. No, it's just like I wouldn't consider myself anything spectacular. But anyways, at the end of the day, I was able to talk to somebody pretty important, pretty powerful, and all I said was basically Red Key USB. I transmitted the IC. I said it wipes computers to DoD standards. He hadn't heard of it, and so, which isn't surprising. It's still relatively new, at least for like, I mean, Linus Tech Tips did a test on it, and what's so exciting about it is it makes it easy to wipe a computer to where anybody can do it. Granted, I still want to test to make sure that the basic wipe does everything that you need it to. And again, yeah, I have to go all the way up and put them at the top, and it doesn't look like they move laterally. I don't know what happened here. Maybe, I don't know. Let's remove that. So if any of those get sideways, then we'll know. Okay, anyways, sorry. Oh, there's the alarm. So, Red Key USB, the really exciting thing about that is it allows for the donation of old laptops. So companies can actually calculate that into their finances, into their expense reports, whatever you want to call it, their accounting. Because large companies do exactly that, like Pepsi did, like Good for the World projects. I haven't seen anything lately, but I definitely saw a lot of hype about that before. And what they do is they look for ways to give back to the community. Every company tries to do this, almost every company. And in doing so, then you give access to everybody to good computers. So we can donate all of the old laptops, and by old, they're not super bad, they're not super great. Can't be like gaming on them, but you could learn, and you can play basic games and stuff. Probably even Minecraft on a lot of them now. But and even with that, 30 bucks for Minecraft, the parents can easily do that if they didn't have to spend $200 on a computer. Like, so you're enabling and empowering people that wouldn't normally think that a computer is within their grasp for a comfortable lifestyle. Not saying that like, and then people experiencing homelessness too. Like, okay, you get a computer and like really a place to stay, and we're working on that too. Fort Collins specifically um, has homeless shelters, and what is it, Mason Place, which is a step up from a homeless shelter. It's like apartment style intermediary housing, and then we have low income housing and a lot more than we used to. Anyways, that's 30 minutes. Ta for now. Happy cybersecurity awareness, but yeah, think about it, preventative blue teaming, and just let it become part of your life. Like, just try to think in a more positive way that people are people and they're just trying their best. And really, sometimes it is their best. Like, maybe they're just, yeah, everybody's working hard out there. Nobody's out there slouching, slacking, except for the movie stars and that they don't have to work for money anymore, and it drives them crazy. They feel like they need to do stuff too. So then you get like the Britney Spears knife thing. I don't know. I haven't seen that, but I feel bad for it because it's a lot of money, but that's a lot of pressure and that's a lot of yeah. So who needs it? Ta for now. Happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month.